debut at age 5, still entertaining us 60 years later. A prodigy, a teen idol. No, I'm not talking about Trip Rogers. This is Trippin' Up. I'm Phil Yale, and I'm challenging the aforementioned Trip Rogers to name 8 of Donny Osmond's top charting Hot 100 songs. Now, this is Donny Osmond solo with the Osmonds, with his sister Marie. Trip, do you accept the challenge?
Yes, I do. You got to start off with number one by the Brothers, which was the first number one song, and I think the only number one song they had was One Bad Apple.
It was indeed a number one back in 1971.
Down by the Lazy River was another one of their big hits. I think it was top 10.
It was indeed a top 10. It peaked at number 4 a year later in 1972.
If you're talking Donny, first number one record was Go Away Little Girl, which was a remake of the Steve Lawrence song that also hit number one in 1963.
Very good. Donny's version peaked at number one back in 71. Donny was the only male artist to take 2 different versions of the same song to number one. By the way, Trip has not made aware in advance what the challenge is going to be. His answers are off the top of his head. How many Osmond songs, Donny Osmond songs, Donny Marie Osmond songs can you name? Let us know in the comments. Like this episode, subscribe to the channel. Trip, back to Trippin' Up. What other songs do you have for us?
All right, well, Donny Osmond had a big hit with Puppy Love as a solo artist.
He did indeed. That was also in 1972. It peaked at number 3.
Donny and Marie had a couple of hits. I'm leaving it up to you. I think was one of their biggest. I think.
I'm leaving it all up to you.
Oh, please. No, please don't think, Phil.
Peaked at number 4 for Donny and Marie.
We got to go Soldier of Love because that was his big comeback in 1988.
Wow. I would have, to be honest, Trip, I would have never got that. Of course, I had kind of checked out the music scene in the late 80s. It indeed peaked at number 2. Very good.
I'll throw in the follow-up, which Sacred Emotion, which I think was also a top 10 hit.
Going through my notes here, I am not seeing it on the...
Okay. That's fair. Let's think now. Yo-Yo by the Osmonds?
Yo-Yo by the Osmonds, 1971. Peaked at number 3. By the way, you can follow Trip. He's an on-air personality and program director at WRHQ-FM, 105.3 FM down in Savannah, Georgia, and on this internet radio station, WTRSradio.com. So far, Trip, you have come up with the following. One Bad Apple, Go Away Little Girl, Soldier of Love. That's 3. Puppy Love, 4. Yo-Yo, 5. I'm leaving it up to you, 6. Down by the Lazy River, 7. I asked for 8. You only need 1 more.
Is it a Osmonds, Donny, or Donny and Marie?
You have at least 1 song from all of those different options available.
Okay. Deep Purple for Donny and Marie.
Deep Purple. Again, not a song I was really familiar with. They showed this peaking at number 14 on the list. There were several that peaked higher than that.
Okay. Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing for Donny and Marie.
Great song. Not seeing it on this list.
Let's see. Donny did a bunch of remakes, and that was the Teen Idol playbook back in the 1970s. And So Young, I think, or Too Young was one of them.
Wow. I'm impressed. Again, not a song I came up with. That was actually a Nat King Cole original. It peaked at number 13. There are a couple songs. Again, let's check. There's 1 by the Osmonds. There's 2 by Donny, and there's 3 by Donny, and 1 by Donny and Marie that actually peaked higher.
Wow. And of course, when you tell me, I'll know them. Wild Horses by the Osmonds?
Wild Horses. It was horses. Wasn't wild. It was
Crazy Horses.
Horses.
Crazy Horses. Yeah.
Crazy Horses. That peaked at number 12. There are some that peaked within the top 10. One was Donny Osmond solo in 1971. It was a cover of a Roy Orbison song. It was technically his first official single release.
You got me on that one.
Drum roll.
You got me. Drum roll, please.
Sweet and Innocent is the name of the track.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sweet and innocent. That was a biggie. That was a biggie. You're right.
A couple that peaked at number 8. This one of them is a solo effort by Donny in 73. It was a cover of a 50s song by Johnny Mathis.
I know it. Not Chances Are.
What's the number at the top of the clock?
12th of Never.
Boy, you're quick. I gave you a hint and you jump all over. That one peaked at number 8. Also peaking at number 8 a year later. This was with his sister Marie. It was
Morning Side of the Mountain.
Morning Side of the Mountain. Correct.
Now, okay. Now that we've got the list, I do want to throw something in here so that you understand. He recorded all his solo songs with his brothers. He recorded all the family unit recorded his stuff, and with Donny and Marie, same thing. The Osmond brothers played the instruments and recorded. They did all their own. So it's a misnomer, kind of, that it's Donny solo because it was the Osmonds backing him. Like, yeah, it's truth.
You opened up the door, so here we go with a bonus question. By the way, listeners and viewers, if you know the answer, let us know in the comments. Like the episode, subscribe to the channel, please. Here you go. Osmonds, can you name all of the Osmonds?
Okay, Wayne, Alan, Merrill, Donny, Jimmy,
yep,
and Marie. I'm missing one.
You're actually missing, surprise, again, I learned something new with every episode that I do. You're actually missing 3. You're actually missing 3. One what did perform was a drummer and provided some vocals. It's also a letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now, they had 2 brothers that were deaf. I did not know this.
And they did not participate. And they were older, as I recall.
They were older and they were limited to appearing as dancers. And that was Viral and Tom. Viral and Tom.
That was quite a everybody mocks the Osmonds, or mocked the Osmonds, and mocked Donny and Marie and the whole 9 yards. But when you think about, the fact that you're right, Donny has been in show business now for more than 60 years. It's amazing. And the thing about it was he was so personable. He gets it and he understands what he does. And he goes out there and performs, and I have the utmost respect for him. My fiance is a huge Donny Osmond fan, and we saw him 2 years consecutively. Actually met the man in Jacksonville before one of his shows. So,
wow!
And I've always liked that. And Donny was a wonderful guy, and actually the fun part of it was, Sandy was she couldn't say a word. I showed him a picture of my old boss interviewing him and his brother in the 70s. And Donny couldn't believe that I had that picture. And I said, oh, yeah, blah, 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 and talked and said, you're in radio? I said, yeah. I said, oh. My respect for him just grew tremendously. And he's a great guy. And, of course, nowadays, the family has gone through such tragedy. Wayne just passed away earlier this year. And of course, Marie has dealt with the death of a child. But again, you talk about one of the great families, and they performed for years in Vegas. The Osmond brothers are retiring the act in the, I think it was in the 2010s. They stopped performing.
My contribution as it relates to the Osmonds, 2 things. Holly and I had a chance to see them being defined as Donny and Marie. And they brought their Vegas show here to Northeast Ohio. Thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that entire show. And Trip, check this out.
There we go. Portrait of Donny.
And it says inside 3 candid 8x10 photos. Now
There you go.
I paid $2.99 for the album. I got it from Viking Records. Look at this. We got Donny. Hey, it gets better. You ready? A signed Donny Osmond.
And I will bet you dollars to donuts Sandy's got that somewhere in a box.
Oh, there you go. Trip successfully conquered this challenge. How did you do? Let us know in the comments. Please like the episode, subscribe to the channel. Trip, congratulations. And again, thank you for joining on this episode of Trippin' Up.